I'm Carly Steele here at South by Southwest in partnership with Kinolime, talking to some of the festival's top storytellers all about their filmmaking process and how they broke into the industry. Let's make movies together. All right, so welcome to South by Southwest.
Thank
and
you
I hear
so
this
much.
is your first film festival experience. How's it been so far?
It's been cool and nerve-wracking. Like I've always wanted to film in a film festival, and it took my entire life, but I'm finally here, so it feels good.
Listen, you got here. You
Yeah,
did it.
yeah.
That's it. A goal achieved.
Goal achieved. Yeah, definitely.
So you're here for your documentary movie.
Yeah.
What has it been like? What's your storytelling process been like making that film?
Well, it's a story about a guy who goes missing in a small town.
Yeah.
So storytelling-wise is when you hear that, you instantly think just like true crime, kind of what's out there. And what we tried to do is kind of like delve more into the town and the characters, and kind of the idea of this town's dying around them as this man went missing, and kind of him going missing is kind of a catalyst to more kind of like, I don't know, sadly the town maybe evaporating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so talk about the process from like the initial hearing this story to getting it onto the screen. Like, was it a smooth process for you? Were there challenges?
Yeah, lots of challenges. So I found the story on Twitter.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm constantly like looking for something to make a documentary about. But the thing that happens to a lot of people, that happens to me a lot too, is you find a great story, you track it down, and then they say, you know, X big production company has already contacted us, thanks but no thanks. So the thing with this one was it was so out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Australia, that I feel like in the bush, exactly. And it just like was out there, and then I think, I don't know, it's so far away, it's hard to get to, and also to get to this town, to get to meet these people was really hard to get there. So part one was like, how do I get in contact with the people? Then I was told they will not talk to me. Then I finally got one of them on the phone who said, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
He said, fuck it, if you come down here, I will talk to you.
Right.
So then I got one of the townspeople on board, and then I went down there. Oh, and then, sorry, the whole process is like I made like a sizzle reel just out of like stuff I found online. And then I asked a friend for some money to go there, so he helped fund it for me. And then when I got back and edited kind of like a sales sizzle reel, then I had like 3 channels of people I was going to try to get it to, and luckily one of those channels were the Duplass brothers, and it was kind of like my dream for the project to be with them. So I met with these other people, and it was nice, but it was one of those things when I walked in a room and met Mark and Mel, and it was just like, okay, it feels like it should be here. What
was your experience working with them, with the Duplass brothers?
It's amazing. It's like, first of all, every other meeting I went on was like in these big buildings with lots of people in suits, and they're located just in like a house in LA, so it just felt more formal. Went upstairs, felt more chill, but they've been amazing throughout the entire process. You know, this has been a 5-year process, and the story's been evolving, and they just kind of like were always there to like help me kind of like reel it back in, or just great like soundboards, just be like, is this working? Like, what do you guys think? And then they would be like, well, this, but why don't you try this, you know? So yeah, they were great the entire way.
Have you always just done documentaries, or also like some scripted projects?
So my first job, I went to, sorry, I ran here, so I'm hot. I went to film school, and my idea was always to be a filmmaker, and then I graduated college, and my first job was at Fear Factor.
Oh yeah. I love that show, by the way.
So I was a PA and then a casting director on that show.
That's sick.
And then I just, you know, fell into working in unscripted television for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then I was just kind of getting burnt out and wanted to do my own thing and something more kind of my storytelling style. And then I found this story, and then it went from there.
Oh my God, I love it. So you've always been more in the unscripted realm.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've dabbled in other stuff, but it's like, I just feel like this is where I belong in a way.
What I think is, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lack of transparency with how things go from script to screen or idea to script, or how just things get made in general. Like, there's no blueprint or one size fits all. But I think what's cool about what Kinolime is doing from a screenwriter's perspective is it democratizes the process. It gets to strip past like a lot of the agents and managers and pitches, and like people get to vote on the projects that they want to see being made, which is really cool, because ultimately the audience is king, and we want to make stories that people want to hear. Like, is that something you would like use and like to like vote on and see what would get made, and or maybe see a story idea that you would get real life inspiration from? Want to see a doc?
I'm huge into collaboration. Like, everybody will tell you who's worked on the film with me. So I really love that idea of what you just said, of like getting the feedback from a community to kind of help you see the process through. Because it's long. It takes a long time. And it's like with scripted and unscripted, like you might have an idea in your head, oh, this is great. Then I sit down and edit it, and it's not great. And then you just have to rework it and rework it and rework it.
Yeah. What advice would you have for up-and-coming, aspiring filmmakers?
My advice would be I'm now 44, and this is my first film festival, and it's always been my dream to be at a film festival. And at a certain point, you don't think it's going to happen, and just keep trying. Keep trying.
Keep going. Well, congrats on all your
Thank
success.
You so much.
It's so exciting to see you, and I'm glad that we got to share your first experience here at South by Southwest.
Of course. Thank you so much, and congrats on everything with you.
Thank you. Yeah.